Starting a new, fully remote job seemed like a dream come true. No more long commutes or stuffy office politics, just me, my computer, and the comfort of home. Little did I know, this newfound freedom would soon transform into a nightmare I couldn't escape. The first few days were blissful. I set up my home office just the way I liked it, a cozy corner with a view, a comfortable chair, and all the gadgets I needed to tackle my tasks. But as I settled into my routine, strange things began to happen. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. I'd catch glimpses of movement out of the corner of my eye, shadows flitting across the room when I was alone. At first, I chalked it up to my overactive imagination, a side effect of spending too much time indoors. But as the days wore on, the shadows grew bolder, more tangible, until it felt like they were watching my every move. I tried to shake off the feeling of unease, burying myself in my work and hoping it would all just go away. But the whispers that accompanied the shadows grew louder, more insistent until they were impossible to ignore. They seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once, echoing through the empty rooms of my house with a chilling intensity. I told myself I was being paranoid, that there had to be a rational explanation for what was happening. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. And then, one night, as I sat at my desk, the whispers reached a fever pitch, a cacophony of voices that seemed to tear at my sanity. I looked up from my computer screen, my heart pounding in my chest, and that's when I saw it, a dark, shapeless mass hovering in the corner of the room, its tendrils reaching out towards me with an almost palpable hunger. I wanted to scream, to run, to do anything to escape the suffocating grip of fear that held me in its thrall. But I was frozen, rooted to the spot as the shadows closed in around me, swallowing me whole. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the darkness receded, leaving me alone in the silence of my home office once more. But the memory of that encounter lingered, a constant reminder that I was not alone, and that whatever lurked in the shadows was not done with me yet. In the days that followed, I tried to convince myself that what I had witnessed was just a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination brought on by the stress of my new job. But no matter how hard I tried to rationalize it away, I couldn't shake the feeling that something malevolent was lurking just beyond the edges of my perception. I found myself avoiding my home office whenever possible, opting instead to work from the living room or even the local coffee shop, anywhere I could escape the oppressive atmosphere that seemed to permeate the space. But no matter where I went, the shadows followed, their presence a constant reminder of the terror that awaited me back at home. I tried to confide in friends and family, hoping they would offer some words of comfort or a rational explanation for what was happening. But their words fell on deaf ears, dismissed as the ramblings of a paranoid mean by those who couldn't possibly understand the depths of my fear. As the days turned into weeks, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, until they seemed to drown out all other sound. I found it increasingly difficult to focus on my work, my thoughts consumed by the dark spectre that haunted my every waking moment. And then, one night as I lay in bed, unable to sleep for fear of what lurked in the darkness, I heard a voice. Not the whispers that had plagued me for so long, but a voice that was unmistakably human. "Help me," it whispered, barely audible above the sound of my racing heart. I froze, my breath catching in my throat as the voice grew louder, more desperate. "Please," it begged, "you have to help me." I wanted to run, to bury myself beneath the covers and pretend I hadn't heard anything. But something compelled me to investigate, to confront the source of the voice, and put an end to the nightmare once and for all. Trembling, I crept out of bed and made my way to the Home Office, my heart pounding in my chest with every step. The room was bathed in darkness, the only illumination coming from the soft glow of the computer screen in the corner. And there, huddled in the shadows, was a figure, a woman, her face contorted in fear, her eyes wide with terror. "Please," she whispered, reaching out to me with trembling hands. "You have to help me. He's coming for me." I didn't stop to ask who he was or how she'd ended up in my home. All I knew was that I had to get her out of there, to safety, before whatever malevolent force had taken hold of my house could claim her as its next victim. Grabbing her hand, I pulled her to her feet, and together we fled the Home Office, the echoes of her terrified cries reverberating through the empty halls as we raced towards the safety of the outside world. As we emerged into the cool night air, I felt a sense of relief wash over me, the weight of the darkness that had plagued me for so long lifting from my shoulders. And as I looked back at the house, I knew that I would never return, that whatever horrors lay within its walls were best left undisturbed. But even now, as I try to move on with my life, I can't shake the feeling that the shadows are still watching, waiting for the moment when they can reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs. And I can only hope that I'll never have to confront them again.
And that's a wrap for today's chilling tale here on Haunting Stories. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in the world of the supernatural as much as we did bringing it to you. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing to our channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us bring you more scary content. Until next time, remember to keep your lights on and your doors locked. And as always, stay spooky. Goodbye.